Hi viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I have taken Bob Dylan for discussion today. He is the Nobel Prize winner in literature in the year 2016. He is a singer, painter, actor and a scriptwriter. Bob Dylan is the first songwriter to win the Nobel Prize. And many of the popular albums also he has given. And the main intention behind getting the Nobel Prize for Literature is this. The prize is awarded for having created new poetic expressions within the great American song tradition. So this is the main underlying theme for which Bob Dylan got the Nobel Prize in the year 2016. Here in this picture you find Bob Dylan being facilitated by President of America in the year 2012. Presidential Medal of Freedom Bob Dylan got. In this picture you can find it. Today I have taken for my topic of discussion John Brown, one of the most famous lyric written by Bob Dylan, American singer as well as a songwriter. The entire theme is about Vietnam War, American soldier, hardships and all that, and the expectations of American mother and all. Let's see what is this all about. Poem John Brown's lyric I have taken. It is an anti-war lyric. Let us see what is this all about. John Brown went off to war to fight on a foreign shore, Vietnam War. His mama sure was proud of him. He stood straight, tall in his uniform, and all his mama's face broke out all in a grin. Total laugh. What is this all about? John Brown went off to war to fight on a foreign shore. The very first line makes us to understand that it is an American soldier going to a foreign shore, foreign land to Vietnam. Okay, he is ready now, getting ready to fight. There is a war is going on. His mama, mother, the poet directly introduces second line itself, mother. Mama sure was proud of him, sure was proud of him. From this line onwards, the expectations of the mother. What is this all about? The glorification of war. False glorification of the war is being highlighted here. That is what Bob Dylan wants us to understand. The false picture of glorification of war is being highlighted. Now, he stood straight. The soldier who has gone to fight on a foreign shore, he stood straight, tall in his uniform. The fine, handsome picture of an American soldier in the uniform, standing tall, straight. It gives immense happiness to the mother in his uniform and all. So the total personality. His mama's face broke out all in a grin. Total happiness. The mother feels very much proud of her own son looking in the uniform. She's very proud of her son going to a foreign land on a unknown destination for the war, Vietnam War. That is the first paragraph, getting ready to move to a war. Further, the expectations of the mother is very much visible here. What is that? Oh son, you look so fine. I am glad you are a son of mine. You make me proof to know you hold a gun. Do what the captain says. Lots of medals you will get, and we will put them on the wall when you come home. Very straight away, mother is explaining her expectations and her happiness. Very much explicit here. What is that? Oh son, you look so fine, handsome. The uniform and the brave, tall, handsome, the personality of that. You look so fine. I am glad. I am very happy. You are son of mine. I am very happy. I am very proud to tell to the world that you are my son. You make me proof to know you hold a gun. The concept of gun now. The concept of masculine. The concept of the war. It is being highlighted, and mother is very proud. Her son is going to the war. Vietnam War. Unknown destination. Do what the captain says. Very interesting. So in the defense strategy, in the defense ideology, what the mother is telling, do what the captain says. There it is nothing but obey and execute. So in the war battlefield or in the defense strategy ideology, obey and execute. You are supposed to obey and execute. That's all. You are supposed to carry out the order. That's what mother is telling. So mother is giving an instruction. Do what the captain says. No arguments. Lots of medals you will get. So she is very happy. Gun and medal. It is a symbolically the glorification of the war. So the poet Bob Dylan, lyricist, he is stressing on the concept gun and medals, glorification of war. And we will put them on the wall when you come back home. So what the mother, her expectation is very simple. Obey the captain, get as much as medals possible, carry the gun, go to the war, and come back home, and I am going to adorn the wall with all the medals. So a very simple way of mother's expectation is being highlighted here. Mother is not aware of the horrors of war. So in the first two stanzas we will understand son going to a foreign shore, Vietnam War, getting ready with the uniform and all. Mother is very much happy, appreciating her own son, grand looking in the uniform, holding the gun, and she is expecting a lot of medals to come back. Next stanza we find, as that old train pulled out, John's ma began to shout, telling everyone in the neighborhood, that's my son, that's about to go. He is a soldier now. You know, she made well sure her neighbors understood. So once again the concept of glorification, her happiness, and her appreciation of her son joining the Vietnam War, it continues here. As that old train pulled out, a train filled with all the American soldiers getting ready to move to a foreign shore, the war, Vietnam. John's ma began to shout. Earlier she was telling about holding the gun, obeying the captain, and bringing as much as possible the medals. Now further she continued once again. John's mom began to shout. She is expressing her happiness, telling everyone in the neighborhood. She is not leaving anybody. She wanted to declare to the entire world that her son is joining the war. That's my son, that's about to go. That's my son, that's about to go means the train. Carrying my son, that's my son. He is in the train, and train is about to go. He is a soldier now, you know. She made well sure her neighbors understood. Now he is a soldier now. So earlier, that uniform and obeying the captain, holding the gun and bringing as much as the medals, continued the same thought here further. So mother and her joy, uncontrollable happiness, the glorification of the war, the poet is trying to portray here. Further moving. After her son has joined and he has moved to Vietnam, what happened later? The story continues. She got a letter once in a while, and her face broke into smile as she showed them to the people from next door. She bragged about her son with his uniform and gun, and these things you called a good old-fashioned war. Oh, good old-fashioned war. In the next line, once again, her happiness continued, appreciation. What is that? She got a letter once in a while. So slowly she started to get the letter from her son, and soon getting the letter, she will not be reading for herself. Her face broke into a smile, and she once again started to spread that news, declaring or informing to everybody. She showed them to the people from next door. So she started to tell her happiness, showing the letter to everybody. She continued, as a proud mother, sending her only son to the Vietnam. That concept is also highlighted now. Glorification of war. Once again, she is very much happy and she is very conscious about it. She bragged about her son. She started to move around, explaining about once again further her son in uniform and all that. With his uniform and gun. Very interesting point here. So intentionally Bob Dylan wants the readers to understand that uniform and gun. So the fine picture, the personality of an American soldier, okay, the beauty and glorification of the war is being highlighted here, which is false. I already stressed on the point. It is an anti-war song, which we need to understand as a student of literature. Her son with his uniform and gun, these things you called a good old-fashioned war. Oh, good old-fashioned war. Still her mother, her appreciation continued. Son wearing the uniform, holding the gun, listening to the captain, and following the instructions and bringing the medals, and she is very happy with the letters once again. So letter continuation of her son and her appreciation continued here also. We have found that American mother and her son as a soldier, her mother appreciating her son joining the Vietnam War, a perfect son for a mother. So that glorification of the war and the beauty of the war is being, the horrors are being hidden behind the fine picture of the uniform, gun, and the medals and all that. That is being highlighted now so far in the song. Further moving, let us see what happens later. Then the letter ceased to come for a long time. They did not come. They ceased to come about 10 months or more. Then a letter finally came saying, "Go down and meet the train. Your son is coming home from the war." This is a turning point in the song where now hereafter there is a total shift of the main theme here. So far the glorification, happiness, mother, the letter and the uniform and all that. Now there is a total change in the storyline. What is this all about? The theme part. Then the letter ceased to come for a long time. They did not come. They ceased to come about 10 months or more. Ceased to come. Almost stand still. There are no more letters. So mother is waiting. Her son is not writing the letter. Ceased to come for a long time, almost many months. Further, next line it is, the poet is documenting. What is that? Ceased to come about 10 months. Almost 10 months she could not get a letter. Finally, then a letter finally came. Finally is very interesting thought here. The word being stressed. Finally, she got a letter. What is this? Only one line is there. "Go down and meet the train. Your son is coming home from the war." Very interesting now. Only one instruction was there. Go down and meet your son. He is coming in the train. Go down and collect your son. That's it. That is the instruction given. Now let us see further. She smiled. Still mother, who considered her son as a perfect son, only son, being sent for the unknown destination. She smiled and went right down. She looked everywhere around, but she could not see her soldier son inside. With desperation, with happiness, almost she rushed immediately. She smiled and went right down. She is not taking more time. Immediately she got down and she moved. She looked everywhere in the railway station around, but she could not see her soldier son inside. What is her expectation is tall, straight and very disciplined, good personality. The way she has already made him to join the war. That picture you need to analyze in the first stanza. Now, but as all people passed, she saw her son at last. Very beautifully the poet wants us to understand. All people passed. When almost all cleared, she saw her son. Finally, at last. So finally and at last are the two important words being highlighted here, and we need to analyze that. Finally, at last, she saw her son. What is he? How is he? When she did, she could hardly believe her eyes. It is a total surprise. She could not understand whether the person who is standing in front of him is her own son only. Now, hereafter, there is a total change in the theme of the poem also, and Bob Dylan is trying to highlight explicitly the war's horror, the horrors of the war and the destruction part and the fatal side of the war is being highlighted. Earlier, the war and the glorification was there. The gun, uniform, medals, and the tall personality and all that in the mother's expressions, it has been hidden. Now it is direct expressions. Now we will find the picture of the horror part is being highlighted. Let us see what is this all about. Oh, his face was all shut up. Mother could not recognize where was her son. Now looking, through her image, expressions, the readers are being highlighted, given an idea. Oh, his face was all shut up. His hand was all blown off, and he wore a metal brace around his waist. He whispered kind of slow in a voice she did not know, while she could not even recognize his face. Very interesting now. What is the thought? Oh, his face was all shut up and his hand was all blown off. Very simple terms. In the song it is being highlighted. His face, the son who was earlier tall, a handsome picture of an American soldier moving to an unknown destination. Now, his face was all shot up with the bullet wounds. Nobody can recognize. His hand was all blown off. One hand has been cut straight away. It is the horror of the war. And he wore a metal brace around his waist. He even could not stand and move around, and there is a metal brace. Some sort of support was there. All these, the first two lines itself, directly the horror of the war has been highlighted. And further moving, he whispered kind of slow. He even not able to speak properly. He whispered in a hushed tone, kind of slow. He seems to be very slow. He has become very slow. Now mother, let us see the mother. In a voice she did not know. Her mother never imagined that one day may come when her own son may talk so slowly, not able to express himself. While she could not even recognize his face, forget about the voice, even face, her own son's face she could not recognize. Mother being mother, now it is entirely a different world. It is like opening a Pandora's box. Now first time, mother, she is expressionless. So very interesting. In this stanza you can find face shot up, hand blown off straight away, and wore a metal brace, his waist, and whispered, not able to speak properly. And the only one line you can understand, mother could not recognize even the face of her own son, dear son, only son. Moving further. Oh, tell me, my darling son, pray tell me what they done. How is it you come to be this way? He tried his best to talk, but his mouth could hardly move, and the mother had to turn her face away. Very beautifully, in the next stanza, the poet in the song makes us to understand once again the horror. First time, the expression of mother is not jovial, not happy. She seems to be totally in a different world, and her words also carry the same weightage, the horror of the war. Oh, tell me, my darling son, pray tell me what they have done. How is it you come to be this way? Two questions straight away she is asking, but no answer she will get. Maybe she is not asking to her son, she is asking to all those superpowers, all those people who are indulged in the war. Very interesting. Oh, tell me, my darling son, pray tell me what they have done and how is it you come to be like this way. Her question remained questions, and this is not only the mother's question here. Bob Dylan is questioning to all those people, superpowers. Is war required? War brings only destruction. War is fatal. Okay, war is nothing but death. And that's it. He tried his best to talk. Still, son tried to express himself. He tried his best to talk, but his mouth could hardly move. Mouth could hardly move. Earlier also, he whispered kind of slow. Okay, maybe the pain, whatever he is getting, already hand blown off, and face being fired at, okay, the bullet wounds. His mouth could hardly move. He is not able to express himself. And the mother had to turn her face away. This is also very interesting. Okay, the same mother who was waiting for all the letters, the same mother when he was getting into the train and moving away, called all the neighbors and expressed her joy and happiness. Same mother had to turn her face away. It is, the idea here is, the poet Bob Dylan is trying to tell, her mother turned her face away not from her son, turned her face away from the war. Okay, and maybe the implied meaning of the poet is also like that. As a reader, we need to understand. So it is finally the call given by the poet through mother. What is that? Mother had to turn her face away. It means we also need to turn our face away from war. Instead of that, peace is the only way we can live happiness, full of happiness. It is the only through peaceful means, not through war. War brings only destruction and problem. This is what is being highlighted. Last four stanzas where finally the poet Bob Dylan is making her son, the patriotic son, American soldier, in his expressions, in his words, horrors of war is being highlighted. Let us see what is this all about. Son speaking to mother, don't you remember, Ma, when I went off to war, you thought it was the best thing I could do? I was on the battleground, you were home acting proud. Thank God he wasn't there, standing in my shoes. Okay, what is this all about? Don't you remember, Ma? So through these words, the soldier, American soldier, is making her mother, his mother, to recollect, remember. What is that? Don't you remember, Ma, when I went off to war? Beginning. You thought it was the best thing I could do. So it was you only who inspired me to join the army, to move to the unknown grounds, enemy grounds, Vietnam War, and you told me, convinced me that that was the best thing I could do as an American soldier. Joining it is a proud moment for me. I was on the battleground. Next, so that is the first, joining. Next, what is the outcome? I was on the battleground, actual battlefield in the Vietnam War. You were home acting proud. When I was in the battlefield, you were home acting proud. Very interesting now this. So you don't know the harsh realities. You don't know the ground realities. What is war means. What is the battleground mean. This is a direct answer to all those people. It is through the words of the son here, American soldier. Poet Bob Dylan is trying to convey a strong message. What is that? I was on the battleground, you are home acting proud. Okay. So to all those American mothers, he is trying to address. Okay. So war has something negative. That means, thank God you wasn't there standing in my shoes. Thank God. I'm really grateful to God because you are not standing in my shoes in the battlefield. I know the hardships standing in the battlefield, fighting and taking, the gunshots and all that. Okay. Further, next stanza. Oh, and I thought when I was there, God, what am I doing here? I am trying to kill somebody or die trying. But the thing that scared me most was when my enemy came close and I saw that this face looked just like me. What is that? Oh, and I thought when I was there, God, what am I doing there? What am I doing there in the battlefield? I have been thinking, analyzing. So he is talking to God. He's now the mind of the American soldier is being highlighted here. Moving, son continuing. Oh, and I thought when I was there, God, what am I doing here? I am trying to kill somebody or die trying. So what is the thought here? Son is making a confession, honest confession when he was in the battlefield. What are the thoughts coming to him? Oh, and I thought when he is in the battlefield, when I was there in the battlefield, God, what am I doing here? Is it really required? Where I am supposed to be? What is this happening? Okay, I am trying to kill somebody or die trying. Very direct statement about the impact of war. So war means destruction. This is what the poet is trying to convey here. But the thing that scared me most was when my enemy came close and I saw the same face. I saw this face looked just like mine. So repeating. But the thing that scared me, son is not scared of the bullets. Son is not scared of anything. Not even death. Then what else? The thing that scared me most was when my enemy came close and I saw this face which looked just like mine. Like how I am scared of, frightened. Even the enemies also seems to be scared of, frightened about this war. Okay, and that was something the scariest moment for me. So son is making honest confession to mother. It is not only son is making honest confession here. The poet is making the reader to understand: do we require war? By war, nobody is benefited. War means futile, destruction, death. That's what he is trying to convey. So in these two stanzas, what we find totally is when son went to war, same mother has given him a very interesting, farewell. She is so happy, but now, she seems to be not that happy. She is not ready even to look at his face. Further, when he is in the battlefield, he remembered God, what he is doing. Further, the thing that scared, what is that? The enemy, face of the enemy. Further, in the battlefield, what son is doing as a soldier, I am trying to kill somebody or die trying. Very simple. So either he will kill somebody or somebody will kill him. That is the total impact of the war. Moving further, son continued his once again thoughts, and I couldn't help but think through the thunder rolling and stink that I was just a puppet in a play, and through the roar and smoke the string is finally broke and a cannonball blew my eyes away. So the graphic description of the battlefield, how he got the wounds, what happened really, and I couldn't help but think through the thunder rolling and stink. The stink of the dead bodies, maybe wounded soldiers and all, the thunder, gunshots and all. Further, that I was just a puppet in a play. Puppet. I have no role to play other than carrying out the orders, obey and execute. That's all. I am not given any choice to think, analyze. I am just a puppet where I have been forced to carry further, move forward. Okay, puppet. Just a doll and maybe the poet is conveying through the words of son here, he is trying to convey. So war means big power, superpowers, okay. Soldiers, whether they wish it or not, they are forced to go to the battlefield and die. That's it. And through the roar and smoke, the gunshots, firing and all, this string is finally broke and a cannonball blew my eyes away. Finally, I got a direct hit where I lost my eyes. This is how now the confession of the son, and I doubt whether mother is looking at her son at all. She already turned her face away, maybe. Further, last stanza, it is almost like an epitome of the destruction. Further, and he turned away to walk. Now I don't think he has anything left to say now. He turned away to walk. Finally, he is a war wounded soldier. He is moving away. His mother was still in a shock. Mother has not expressed anything. She just asked a question: who has done all this? What is this? What is this all about? And still she seems to be in a shock at seeing the metal brace that helped him stand. This part she saw now. Her, one of the hand has been blown off, eyes being wounded. That part she was aware. He turned away to walk. The moment he turned away to walk, his son, another shock. Ma was still in a shock earlier. Now, seeing the metal brace that helped him stand, her own son who is not able to stand for even, this has the final blow. This was really upsetting the mother now. American mother who appreciated war earlier, who appreciated her son being in the army and all that, glorification of the war. But as he turned to go, he called his mother close and he dropped his medals down into her hand. This is the final last nail on the coffin's box. Finally, the poet is trying to tell. And he turned to go. Finally, he turned away to talk and he turned away to walk further, and he turned to go. Finally, he called his mother close and he dropped his medals. So rather than speaking, he dropped his medals down into her hand. So finally his mission is complete now. As a son, and a dutiful son, as a perfect son, what his mother's instructions he carried out. Whatever captain's orders he carried out, executed. For that he lost his eyes as well as one hand has been blown off, and he brought the medals back home. And the medals, as a dutiful son, he is giving to the American mother. Now American mother is in a total shock, full of sorrow, and this is the horror of the war, which poet wants all the readers of literature to understand. And here we are finally compiling the important thoughts in this song John Brown, written by Bob Dylan. Very quickly recap, sum up. It is an anti-war song. War is futile, brings only destruction, brings death, and it is futile is being highlighted. That is the main theme, Bob Dylan's. Further, American mother, glorifying the war. How an American mother glorifying war is being highlighted. Uniform, tall, very strong looking, and the letters, gun, medals. So in all these images, American mother is glorifying the war. She is very proud of her son joining the army. Uniform, very tall, elegant looking, that is all being highlighted. And letters and gun and medals, that already, she has given instruction to her son telling that you obey and execute the orders of the captain so that you can get more medals. And that's what is the instruction she has conveyed. Romantic, glorifying the war is being highlighted. And almost, a perfect son, American mother, she is finding in her son who has joined the army, who is going to the Vietnam War. So this war and the glorification of war is being highlighted. That is the first part of the poem. Further moving. So the Vietnam War, a perfect son concept we have seen. Finally, like American mother, we have parallel another image, symbolically son, who is obeying the mother. He joins the army and he has moved to an unknown destination, and then once he returns back, horrors of the war is being highlighted. What is that? He conveys as a dutiful son in the battlefield what happened. Kill or be killed. That is the only rule. In the battlefield, no mercy. And further, he is just like a puppet. This is the harsh reality of the war. This is what Bob Dylan wants readers to understand. What is that? every soldier will be a puppet with the superpowers. They are not having any choice. They are expected to only obey and execute, move further, and either kill or be killed. That's it. Then finally, the face shot up. His face is filled with gun wounds, totally shot up. He is unrecognizable. Very interesting. Okay. Further, hand blown off. A metal brace supporting the waist. Total aversion from the mother's point of view. The same mother who considered her son very elegant, perfect son, handsome. Now, the same poem, in the end of the poem, mother is full of aversion. She is not ready even to look at her own son. And it is an entirely pitiable state, a sorry state of the war, which brings only death and is futile. Finally, son finally gives the medals, brings the medals, and he has given to his mother like a dutiful son. He has brought back the medals, but though he has given the medals, he lost the battle, in fact, because his lifetime, he is wounded and he is no more the same son who is active and handsome and all. And this is the impact Bob Dylan is trying to convey in this poem, John Brown. Completely, war is futile. War means destruction. War can bring only destruction, nothing else. So the poet expects us to introspect, analyze. Do we require such wars? Instead of wars, why can't we have a constructive way of, peaceful way of solving problems? The picture where John Brown in the battlefield, Bob Dylan's one line I want to quote. And I saw that his face looked just like mine. Oh Lord, just like mine. This is a very interesting thought being conveyed in John Brown. Finally, son in the battlefield, remembering God, telling that, finally making a confession that kill or be killed. What state of situation I put myself into. Okay, it is almost like introspection of a soldier in the battlefield. Okay, the poet Bob Dylan wants all of us to understand that he put yourself into the shoes of the such soldiers and analyze. Okay, instead of pushing them to war, pushing them to battlefield, so that they will end up with some casualties, end up with severe lifetime injuries. Why can't we think of some constructive ways of solving our issues? War is not a solution. War can bring only destruction, death. This is what is being highlighted. Consider it to like and subscribe. Thank you.